In this clip, it's probably not a qualified instructor in supervision of this learner driver, but we won't be saying that about the rest of the clips we're going to see in this episode. Hi everyone, most of you know that I do a fair bit of my work training driving instructors, and the level of driving instructors is honestly way lower than it should be in my opinion, and today's clips prove that.
I didn't get any job. The only job, as I say, the only job bell rings I got were what I thought was supposed to on maybe the Royal Mail in the afternoon, or whether it wasn't in the afternoon.
What the hell?
Let me try and explain how that incident happened with the vehicle that was emerging left. How does it get round towards that curb? Well, effectively, the pupil, I think, was looking over the bonnet. Right, that's the reason why, as well, if we look in the clip, that they stopped a little short. If they're focusing at the front, they're looking where the car points and not where it's going. And I think that's the reason why they do what they did. Now, I'm just going to get out of here. Yeah, we're clear. If they're looking at where it's pointing, the car's not pointing straight yet. Now it is. Now I'm going to start to steer, and that's how they went towards that curb on the left-hand side. This fault of looking over the bonnet is super common, but I also think it's got a big bearing on all the other mistakes that they make. Let me explain. I'd like you to keep in mind what I've just said about where the vehicle's pointing. And remember, the pupil's trying to get the front of the car pointing round to the direction that they're wishing to go. I know it's a strange concept, but it happens. This is one of the basic skills that should be addressed before you get your pupil out onto busier roads, and this is totally on the instructor's shoulders. Now, watch what they do on this next bend. They steer a little early and the right wheels are on that line. That's quite dangerous coming round that right hand bend, but we're going to see a fair bit worse a little further up. We are on the approach to another bend, and this one's a little sharper. It's got the black and white chevrons out in front of us, and that's what this pupil, I think, is avoiding. Look at the line they take now. Their left wheels nearly go over the line fully. That's the highest risk manoeuvre we've seen. The instructor should have intervened. They shouldn't have let them go across there, and they should definitely be parking in and dealing with that fault now. But they just carry on. And now watch how close they get to the parked van on the left. The instructor shouldn't have let them go through that gap. They should have held back here where my viewer Simon's waiting. Simon continues to follow the instructor for a couple of minutes, and they end up at a busy junction that leads onto the motorway. Surely the instructor's not going to take them on there. This steering avoidance that was evident a little earlier is still evident here on this bend. Watch how they oversteer and veer into lane 2 before coming back to the left hand side. This is going to be dangerous if they do this on the motorway.
Why? I didn't think they were allowed on the motorway. Simon, he doesn't know where he's going.
Simon is a highly skilled driver and picks a nice time to get past. This learner with this skill level should not be going on the motorway, but to be totally fair, the slip road that they're joining from does go into their own lane, so at least they don't have to emerge. To finish off by going on the motorway with that pupil, in my opinion, is an absolute disgrace. That student should be in an area practicing where to look to steer. Going on a motorway with them having that ability is a massive risk, and it would also fail what we call a standards check. It's a check that instructors have every number of years to make sure they're still up to a certain level, and that falls well below the level required. Now, we're also going to be looking at a clip from Liverpool, and this one, honestly, is just as scary and just as poor level of instruction.
people listening who know people with cancer, you just have moments when you're like, I'm done with this. I want to say right now that that's most of your moments. You've not had the graceful, I'm coping well with this era yet. No, we will get to that. I'm really hoping so. That'll happen. And your dad said,
Look, see, they're over the line again. It's them.
And you're getting treatment. This is so worthwhile. It means I get to spend.
My viewer does the correct thing and just holds back. You don't want to be next to a learner driver, or in fact anyone who's driving in this manner. They're obviously not looking before they change direction.
What are they doing?
As the last clip, this instructor should be controlling this situation and not letting the student do these risky manoeuvres. They're all over the road and they lack the basic control to be driving in these conditions at this time of day. But what the instructor lets the pupil get away with next is inexcusable.
Social awkwardness, things like we've been having a meeting.
They are
Do you like
a menace.
The blue, we're like, why? And he knows they can't fix the past, he knows that he's done so wrong, and he knows that I'm dying, so now he's trying to make it all up but getting it all wrong. So he's decided in a rule for to stop bringing up the past.
I don't know if they're going to run a fucking red light too.
Tax rule. So you can only keep the receipts for 6 years.
Driving like that is always going to happen. People are always going to ignore what instructors tell them. However, these clips that we've seen today, and this one, can't just wait. But yeah, people are always going to ignore what instructors say. However, where does the fault lie with this situation? Is it the instructors? Obviously, but how do you fix that problem? The instructor test that instructors have to go through to qualify is really difficult. The pass rate is horrendous. It's only about 25%. So instructors sort of know the standards they should be setting, but like most other road users, a high number of instructors let their standards drop. They don't care in the slightest, and this has got to change across the board. Keep safe, everyone. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon.